We need Greenland from a national security situation. It's so strategic. Right now, Greenland is covered with Russian and Chinese ships all over the place. We need Greenland from the standpoint of national security. And Denmark is not going to be able to do it, I can tell you.
What once sounded like provocation for shock value is now being treated as a genuine strategic threat. U.S. President Donald Trump's renewed fixation on Greenland has moved from punchline to policy concern, particularly after Washington's violent operation in Venezuela emboldened an administration increasingly comfortable with projecting raw power beyond its borders. During Trump's first term, his public musings about acquiring Greenland were widely dismissed as bluster. Even subsequent symbolic gestures, including a brief visit by Donald Trump Jr. and later a stopover by Vice President J.D. Vance, were viewed in Europe as performative trolling rather than a serious geopolitical ambition. That mood has now shifted sharply. European leaders on Tuesday reaffirmed Denmark's sovereignty over Greenland, stressing that the autonomous territory belongs to its people. Their reaction followed increasingly explicit signals from Washington that the United States views control of Greenland as a strategic imperative. The White House further unsettled NATO allies by refusing to rule out the use of force to secure the Arctic island.
Żaden członek Paktu Północnoatlantyckiego nie powinien atakować czy grozić drugiemu członkowi Paktu Północnoatlantyckiego. Inaczej NATO traciłoby sens, gdyby w obrębie tego paktu dochodziło do konfliktu czy wzajemnych agresywnych kroków. Bardzo nam zależy na tym, aby wszystkie ewentualne spory czy dyskusje były rozwiązywane oczywiście w jakimś przyjaznym dialogu między członkami NATO. Solidarność europejska i poszanowanie integralności państw europejskich, no to są takie elementarne kwestie, więc oczywiście Dania może liczyć tutaj na solidarność całej Europy. Nie mam co do tego żadnych wątpliwości.
Trump has argued publicly that Greenland is essential to U.S. national security, a claim rooted in geography rather than novelty. Greenland has long held strategic value, from its role as a key Atlantic outpost during World War II to its current function in U.S. missile early warning systems.
We need Greenland from a national security situation. It's so strategic. Right now, Greenland is covered with Russian and Chinese ships all over the place. We need Greenland from the standpoint of national security. And Denmark is not going to be able to do it, I can tell you.
As Arctic ice melts, new shipping routes and access to untapped resources, including rare earth minerals, oil, and gas, have only heightened its importance. China and Russia, analysts note, are well aware of these stakes. Greenland has emerged as a focal point of U.S. strategic interests due to its military, geographic, and economic value. Although the Arctic island is part of NATO through Denmark, its location makes it crucial for U.S. defense planning. The shortest route between Europe and North America passes over Greenland, placing it at the heart of America's ballistic missile early warning systems and Arctic surveillance network. Greenland is geographically part of the North American continent, and it is vital for the United States to prevent any other major powers from establishing a foothold on the island. Ulrik Prom-God, a senior researcher at the Danish Institute for International Studies, told readers. The U.S. already operates the Pituffik Space Base in northwest Greenland and has examined expanding its presence to monitor key maritime routes used by Russian submarines. Beyond security, Greenland holds vast untapped mineral resources, including rare earth elements essential for electric vehicles. Despite this, Greenland has banned oil and gas extraction, relying heavily on fishing and Danish subsidies. Both Denmark and Greenland rejected President Donald Trump's 2019 proposal to buy the island. Also, Washington faces no legal or logistical barrier to reinforcing its presence there if security concerns arise. Danish and Greenlandic officials have also expressed openness to expanded economic and mineral partnerships, undercutting claims that outright control is necessary. His senior advisor, Stephen Miller, reinforced this worldview in remarks to CNN, warning that the United States was no longer bound by a rules-based global order, but by power and strength. Miller later asserted that nobody is going to fight the United States over the future of Greenland. Nobody's going to fight the United States militarily over the future of Greenland. We live in the world, in the real world, Jake, that is governed by strength, that is governed by force, that is governed by power. These are the iron laws of the world since the beginning of time. Concerns about Trump's intentions intensified after his comments following the capture of Venezuelan President Maduro. Trump claimed the U.S. was now effectively running Venezuela, fueling accusations that his administration has crossed from rhetorical imperialism to practiced dominance. The White House also announced that sanctioned Venezuelan oil would be transferred to U.S. control, with proceeds managed by Washington, a move that alarmed European governments, already uneasy about the raid.
Venezuela right now is a dead country. We have to bring it back, and we're going to have big investments by the oil companies to bring back the infrastructure. And the oil companies are ready to go. They're going to go in, they're going to rebuild the infrastructure. You know, we built it to start off with many years ago. They took it away. You can't do that. You can't do that with me. They did it with other presidents.
European leaders fear that any attempt to seize Greenland would shatter NATO itself. Danish Prime Minister Mette Frederiksen has warned that such an act would destroy the alliance's credibility and fracture transatlantic relations. Denmark's contribution to past U.S.-led wars, including Afghanistan and Iraq, has only sharpened the sense of betrayal among European allies.
Firstly, I believe that the US president should be taken seriously when he says that he wants Greenland, but I also want to make it clear that if the United States chooses to attack another NATO country militarily, then everything stops. That is, including our NATO and thus the security that has been provided since the end of the Second World War.
But is there a small part of you that thinks that everything could end with this president?
I do everything I can for the opposite. I believe in democracy, and I believe in the international rules of the game. Of course, I also believe that you do not change borders by force, either in one way or another. It is not only the position of Denmark and the Danish realm. Fortunately, Europe has too, so I hope that people will also take note of the once again significant European support that we are receiving. I agree that it is important that there is security and peace and security in the Arctic region. That is one of the reasons why we are in NATO. Greenland is also a member of NATO. It is a shared responsibility of the Arctic states, including the Kingdom, to ensure that there is security, peace, and freedom in the Arctic region. But Denmark has always been a good ally of the United States. We want to continue to be so. But I also have to address that some of what is being said from the American side, and of course we will not accept a situation where we and Greenland are threatened in this way.
Despite Trump's aggressive tone, there is no immediate indication of an impending military move. Still, analysts note that the guardrails that restrained him during his first term appear largely absent. As former NATO Supreme Allied Commander Admiral James Stavridis told CNN's Jake Tapper, "This is the end of NATO we're talking about. Let's avoid that." Whether Trump's Greenland ambition remains leverage, obsession, or prelude is unclear, but European leaders are no longer laughing, and neither, it seems, is the world.